Yo, what is up, people? It is your boy Kaj in the studio writing solo today. This episode is going to be a little bit different as it's just me. Josh is away on his honeymoon, didn't schedule a guest, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about some things you should be aware of as we prepare for quarter four. Today is September 20th, so Q4 is just over a week away. I've already been preparing for Q4 in my business, but there's some things specifically that I want you guys to be aware of. Before we get into that conversation, quick shout out to the sponsor of today's episode. That is Smart Scout. This is a tool that me and my team use every day in our business to research brands, to find products and catalogs, to do brand analytics for our partners and for outreach so that we can continue to grow our business. If you are a wholesale seller on Amazon and you want to take your business seriously, it is a must-have tool. So go to the link in the description for Smart Scout. It'll get you 25% off your first 3 months. And let's get into the conversation about Q4. So first thing is some important dates to be aware of. So Q4 obviously starts in October, but true peak season starts Black Friday. Black Friday is November 22nd and Cyber Monday is December 2nd. So that week plus period of Thanksgiving, which is kind of when Black Friday starts now, so November 21st through December 2nd is very important to be aware of. Now, if you're doing FBA, which a lot of us are, it's important to note that inventory needs to be delivered to an Amazon warehouse by October 19th in order for Amazon to guarantee that it'll be Prime badge eligible and ready to go by Black Friday. Now, you might notice that date's pretty far in advance. October 19th, that's almost a full 5 weeks ahead of Black Friday, which makes it challenging to prepare for from a cash flow perspective, especially if you're scaling, especially if you're doing online arbitrage. Now, don't let that deter you from continuing to send an inventory FBA. I will say from my personal experience, I have sent in inventory a week or 2 weeks before Black Friday, and it did sell FBA during that Black Friday to Cyber Monday stretch. Now, one thing I have noticed over the last couple years, and this year in particular, check-in times have gotten slower and slower, and FC transfer times have gotten longer and longer. And I think that's just because of how the FBA program is growing. More people are selling on Amazon, brands are growing and doing more volume. There's been the optimized split shipments, Amazon optimized split shipments, and all of these things that are changing the landscape and making inventory take longer to check in at FBA. So do that at your own risk. You can still send in FBA inventory after that date, but just know if you want it to be guaranteed to sell by Black Friday. Now, that brings us to a second topic in regards to this, which is FBM. And this is where a lot of people can make life-changing money in Q4 if you FBM. Now, FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. FBM stands for Fulfilled by Merchant, which means that you can list the product on Amazon, but instead of shipping it to an Amazon warehouse and then Amazon shipping it to the customer, you ship the product directly to the customer. And what this allows you to do is skip all of the receiving times, the check-in times, the FC transfer times with FBA. And during Q4, you have to be very specific about knowing when to use FBM. And I'll give you a perfect example in my business. One of our partner brands, they are getting a new round of product manufactured for Q4, getting manufactured in China and then shipping it to the US. But that product isn't going to be delivered till about mid-November. So we are deciding to do almost all of that shipment FBM, because we know that if we send it in FBA, there's actually a chance that we might not even get it checked in time to sell for Christmas at all, and we won't start selling it till January. So we're going to be FBMing that product. Another great thing you can do with FBM is if you have a product Maybe you sent it in FBA, it sells through during Black Friday, the Black Friday Cyber Monday week, but you want to sell more of it, repurchase that product from wherever your source is, and then instead of sending it in FBA again, just list it FBM. And then that'll also help keep your cash flow cycle really, really good. Now, another thing to note in regards to important dates. So Amazon said that from July 1st, that date's obviously already passed, through November 10th is when they are prioritizing receiving and checking in inventory for Q4 peak season. But after November 10th is when they start prioritizing fulfilling customer orders over receiving new FBA inventory from sellers. So again, November 10th, pretty much through Christmas, they are prioritizing shipping orders to customers, which is why there's a likelihood that if you're sending in FBA inventory after that date, it might not actually be available for sale in time for Christmas. Again, in my past experience, I have sent in FBA inventory after that date and it's checked in and been received, but Amazon's telling us that that is not a guarantee just because of the volume of orders that they have. They might sit some stuff to the side and just let it sit there for who knows how long. Another thing I wanted to touch base on in regards to Q4 is repricing strategies. Now, repricing is important all year round, and especially in Q4, if you're using the right strategies, you can make more money on the stuff that you're already selling just by setting up your repricer correctly. So first, please do not tank prices. You lose money, everybody else lose money. In Q4, there is a sizable increase in sales volume, and there is no need to drive down price on products. Often I see like a 20 to 30% increase in sales, sometimes even more depending on the type of product and the sales rank of the listing. And you want to be pricing up as much as you can. Another pro tip, if you are FBMing a product and there are other sellers on that listing, if some of those FBA sellers are back ordered, which means their inventory is in FC transfer, especially because again, FC transfer and check-in times are taking long. Amazon is prioritizing getting things to customers quickly because Christmas is around the corner. People want to get gifts so they can wrap them, package them, put them under the tree, whatever. Amazon will actually start to prioritize people who have FBM listings with short handling time, 0-day handling time, 1-day handling time, and give those people the buy box, even if they're priced higher than FBA listings, than FBA offers that are back ordered. So go FBM, short handling time, and don't be afraid to test pricing higher because you might be surprised at how much of the buy box and how many sales you're still able to get. And on that note, please use an AI repricer because it will take these things into consideration. Our repricer of choice is SellerSnap. I'm very vocal about SellerSnap. They make us a lot of money in our business. Another thing I love about using SellerSnap is their yo-yo pricing strategy. This, again, is going to make you tons of money in Q4. Yo-yo pricing strategy sets your price to your max price however often you set it to. For us, about every 3 hours, we go to max price, hold there for 30 minutes. We make sales at max price consistently, and that adds a couple bucks, sometimes $5 or $10, depending on the sale price of the item, into our profit for that item. So if you're not doing that, you are literally leaving money on the table. So make sure you use an AI repricer. We use SellerSnap. That'll increase your buy box percentage. It'll work on increasing your price based on these factors that I just talked about, and make sure that you have the yo-yo method set. On that note, another thing to consider, make sure you have reasonable max prices. I see a lot of people who just set a stupid high max price for no reason. Don't do that for a couple reasons. One, super high max price, your listing could get deactivated for violating fair pricing policy. This doesn't have too much of an impact on your account health as long as you're not doing it a lot, but it could temporarily deactivate your listing, which obviously then you're going to get less sales. So have a reasonable max price based on the historical keeper graph. I normally like to price at the highest that I've seen the buy box within the last year. And 2, you also want to make sure you're not priced so high that if a customer notices that their order was ridiculously higher than what the current price is, once they go back and check if they want to reorder, that they're not going to return. And we've had that happen to us too, where we priced too high, we got a sale, and then the customer returned the product saying they found a lower price elsewhere, which could have just been us back on the buy box when we reprice normally. So take that into consideration. Don't put your max price too high. So make sure it's like, I don't want to give exact numbers, but kind of you can feel it out. Like if you were a customer buying that product, like what would you be willing to pay for it compared to something? And if you paid $5 or $10 more for it, would that be worth returning it when you realize that the price came back down? So AI repricer, yo-yo, set a reasonable max price. Last thing I'll touch on in regards to Q4, check out the historical keeper on products. If it's a product that's been around for a long time and you can see that from beginning to middle of November through December through Christmas, that the sales rank really drops and the product starts selling faster, that is another sign that you can FBM that product, that you can price well on that product and make serious money. Now, some listings are going to have a huge increase in sellers. If that's the case, sometimes that product is going to tank. It is what it is. It happens. Every single product isn't just going to be automatic cash, but take into consideration the historical keeper. And if you can see that it consistently drops in sales rank and that the pricing holds, try to find a way to source that product profitably. Just to recap quickly, November 21st through December 2nd, Black Friday through Cyber Monday, that really kicks off the peak season of Q4. And from then up until a few days before Christmas, sales velocity is through the roof. October 19th is the date that FBA inventory has to get delivered to Amazon fulfillment centers in order for Amazon to guarantee that that inventory will be received, checked in, and available for the Prime badge by Black Friday. Up until November 10th, Amazon is prioritizing receiving inventory, including that inventory that got delivered by October 19th, distributing it across their network to make sure that it's available for sale. After that, it's much more of a toss-up if they're going to prioritize your inventory versus prioritizing shipping out customer orders. In my experience, I've shipped stuff after November 10th, had it receive and sell, but if you want to be safe, FBM inventory after that date. FBM is an awesome opportunity in Q4. Do it as much as you can. It's going to boost your cash flow and make you a lot of money. Make sure your repricer is set correctly. Get an AI repricer. We use SellerSnap. Activate the yo-yo. Set a reasonable max price. You will make more money. Remember, there is an overall increase in sales volume on the listings that are already on Amazon. So the products you have in your inventory that are working well now, double down on those. You can buy more of the same product that you're already selling and just make more money by doing that. And last thing that I'll leave you guys with, remember, stuff still sells in January. If it doesn't sell in the peak season of Q4, but it was selling before that, it'll sell in January. It's okay. This is an awesome opportunity to take advantage of. Tons of people make life-changing money, tens of thousands of dollars in profit, but Amazon still happens in January. There's still money to be made in January. Tons of people get Amazon gift cards as Christmas presents and then spend that money in January. So keep sending in FBA inventory, keep buying inventory, watch your cash flow, watch your repricer, do some FBM, and you're going to crush it. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Hope this episode was helpful. If you got value and insight from this episode, please like the episode, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment about the tip that you're going to implement in your business, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.